Okay, today we are going to be learning how to convert customary units of weight. So today we are going to be using pounds, ounces, and tons. If you look at your blue arrow sheet, it shows you that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. Now, here's the abbreviation. So pounds can also be represented as LBS. So don't get confused and think that that is a 1 when you have a number next to it. This is LBS for pounds. We also have ounces. I don't know why the abbreviation is OZ because there's no Z in here, but the abbreviation is OZ. Now don't get ounces confused with fluid ounces. We're going to learn about fluid ounces later on in this chapter. Here we have tons, and that is represented by a large T. So you might see the words spelled out, or you might see the abbreviations. Don't forget to look at your blue arrow sheet and refer back to that as you complete your assignment. Now, another thing I'm going to continue to refer to is this sheet right here. You can use this with all metric units and also all of the customary units of weight and length and capacity. This is good for everything that you're converting. So I'm going to refer back to this a lot. Now, let's start off. On your independent sheet, number 4 says they want to have you convert 96 ounces, and they want you to convert it to pounds. So I'm going to have you draw a line with a little square or a rectangle. You probably want a larger rectangle with this assignment. Now, once you have this written down, I'll wait. I want you to write this down. I want you to do it step for step because this will help you, I promise. Go through these steps with every single problem that you do. Now, you have 96 ounces, and you have this little box, this little rectangle right here, and then you have pounds. Now you are going to convert from ounces to pounds. What I want you to think about is which is bigger, ounces or pounds? And you can see when you refer back to this, you can see that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. That means that pounds are bigger, they are heavier. So we're going from small to big. Small to big means that you're going to be dividing. So I'm going to have you put a little divide sign there. Now, what you use to divide will depend on what units you are converting. So right here you have ounces and pounds. Now you have to figure out how many ounces are in a pound. Well, if you refer back to your sheet, you can see that there are 16 ounces in a pound. So we're going to be dividing by 16. So 96 divided by 16. Well, I don't know my 16 times table, so I'm going to estimate. It's maybe around 5. Your estimate might be below, it might be above, or it might be spot on. You need to remember how to divide. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. I can see that if I add another 16 to that, 16 will be able to go into 96 perfectly 6 times. So 96 divided by 16 is 6. So 96 ounces is the same as 6 pounds. That is how you convert. Now we're going to try another one. Number 5 on your independent sheet says they have 7 tons, and they want you to convert it to pounds. So again, you're going to look and see what is bigger, a ton or a pound. When you refer to your blue arrow sheet, it shows you that 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. So a ton is way heavier than a pound. So you're going from big to small. Whenever you go from big to small, you're going to multiply. So I'm going to multiply. Then I need to refer back to my sheet. How many pounds are in a ton? Well, my blue arrow shows me that I have 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. So I'm going to multiply by 2,000. So 2,000 times 7, you can go and multiply it across, or you can remember our trick where you cover the zeros. 7 times 2 is 14, and then put them back. So we have 14,000 pounds. Now let's go on to a little bit of a trickier one. Number 9 says they have 1¼ pounds, and they want you to convert it to ounces. Now, you are going from big to small because an ounce is lighter than a pound. Okay, so big to small means you're going to multiply. So I'm going to multiply. Then I have to refer back to my sheet. How many ounces are in a pound? There are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So I'm going to multiply by 16. Now you have 1¼ times 16. Now you thought you were done with fractions, didn't you? Nope, you're going to be using them for the rest of your life. Now you're going to have to remember what you learned. When you're converting 1¼ into a fraction, into an improper fraction, you're going to multiply and add. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5/4. Now, to make a whole number fraction, that's easy. All you have to do is put it over 1. Now you just multiply across, multiply across. So you can multiply across and simplify, or you can simplify before. I can see that there's a common factor between these two. It's 4. 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 16 4 times. Now I can multiply across. 5 times 4 is 20. 1 times 1 is 1. 20/1 is equal to 20. So that means that 1¼ pounds is equal to 20 ounces. Or you can use your common knowledge if you know that 16 ounces is 1 pound. Well, you know, there's 16 here, and then 1/4 of 16 is 4. So when you add 16 plus 4, that also equals 20 ounces. Now let's go ahead and do one last problem. We are going to do number 10. Number 10 on the independent sheet wants us to convert 7,000 pounds into tons. So again, I'm going to look from going from pounds to tons. I'm going from a smaller unit to a heavier unit. So small to big, which means I'm going to divide. Now I have to figure out how many pounds are in a ton. I'll refer back to my blue arrow. There are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. So I'm going to be dividing by 2,000. So again, I have 7,000 divided by 2,000. So 7,000 divided by 2,000. If you remember your shortcuts, I can figure out how many times that goes in there. Or, as long as I take away the same amount of zeros, it's like, how many times does 2 go into 7? Well, I know that 2 times 3 is 6, so it goes in 3 times. 2 times 3 is 6. And I have a remainder of 1. But don't forget, this isn't just a 1. You have to add those zeros back in. You have 2 tons and 1,000 pounds. I know that 1,000 pounds is just half of a ton because 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton. So I have 2½ tons. Or if you put 2 tons, 1,000 pounds, that's also correct. but this is probably going to be easier to write. Now, if you have any questions, I want you to go back and rewatch the video. Again, don't forget to look up here and write the line with the rectangle and check to see if it goes from big to small or small to big, and then you have to look at your blue arrow and make sure that you're putting the right numbers in. This will work for everything when you're converting different types of measurements.